Design Wall Podcast, Episode 2, Mortal Creed. Try and guess which games I'm going to talk about. Mortal Creed. Figure it out. Okay. Design Wall Podcast, or webcast, YouTube cast, is where I'm going to talk about video games and the design behind them. Specifically, the little things that developers choose to put in the game, the little choices that affect the game in great ways sometimes. So, first thing I'm going to talk about, Assassins Creed Brotherhood. Now, this is not, Revelations. This is not number 2. This is that middle child that everyone adores and loves. Assassin's Creed, often described as an open world game, and it is. You can roam around Rome in this one, or Venice, Florence in the other one, and go wherever you want. Open world, yeah, absolutely. But when you get to the actual missions and plot of the game, it's not so open. Often I found with these storyline missions that they were quite linear. You had this whole area to go through, and it didn't matter. You went through this one little section of it every time that never deviated, right? And it doesn't seem right to have this huge open space that you can do what you want in with this amazing gameplay, and you're stuck to one little path, right? Now, the worst offender of this in Assassin's Creed is Leonardo da Vinci. His missions were even more scripted and more linear than the storyline missions were, right? So the first Leonardo da Vinci mission I played was the one with the Da Vinci flying machine, okay? And basically what you had to do in this thing was get to the flying machine and then use that flying machine to blow up some structures like outposts and little castle things. But those were just laid out in a square, and you went boom, 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 all just going around over and over again until you destroyed them all. And that was it. They attached a cannon onto the Da Vinci flying machine and just let you go in that little circle, go in that little square over and over again. It wasn't open at all. It wasn't Assassin's Creed gameplay. It didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like an evolution or a little side thing, little novel side thing that was still Assassin's Creed, still the same core elements. This is just something that didn't work. Like the Da Vinci flying machine was in the second game, but it wasn't meant to be this like fighter jet thing or this bomber, right? It was meant to be a novel way of getting from point A to point B once or twice, and it was kind of cool, It made you feel like you were in that time era with Da Vinci, trying out his machines. It was great. It kind of stayed with the same gameplay. It kind of goes, you're exploring this new place, going boom, boom, boom. Yes, that part was a little bit linear, but it was still pretty good, I thought. But when it comes to Brotherhood, it's like they're trying to fit a square into a circle hole. It just didn't work, They attached a cannon to it and thought, hey, we'll just attach a cannon to a flying thing, and it's a bomber, right? Absolutely, I don't see a problem with that. But there was. The mechanic wasn't meant for the place they put it into. They tried to crush it into something that it wasn't. And that was the same thing with the gondolas. Those gondolas where the great voiced guy in the back is pushing you along with that long wooden stick, singing as you're kind of lying there, look at the stars, like, this is so nice. And they probably cost like $200 to actually rent now. Well, in Assassin's Creed 2, Venezia, they had these, right? Absolutely. Like, why wouldn't they have them, right? The designers probably thought, hey, we're in Venice, why, gondolas, they're kind of cool. Everyone knows what these are. We'll let the player drive one, or boat one, or whatever the verb for driving a boat is. And they're like, okay, it's a kind of novel way to get from point A to point B. It is not really a viable tactic in assassinations or in escaping the guards. It was there. And then we get to the Leonardo da Vinci mission with this, and it's a gondola with a cannon on it. You can't just put guns on something and say like, oh, this is gonna work. Now this is like one of those big battleships. You see with all the F-18s landing on them. Or this is a submarine with missiles. No, it just didn't work. It was designed to be a novel thing to get from point A to point B. Never really a viable tactic in any scenario. And then, then we get this, which is just putting a cannon on it. Same problem that they had with the Da Vinci flying machine. And those Da Vinci missions didn't stack up to Assassin's Creed gameplay. It was like, here's Assassin's Creed gameplay. You know, go wherever you want, dip and weave under things. You know, jump on buildings, go around, run across the rooftops. You know, go down, hide in a haystack, whatever. But the Da Vinci missions and the storyline missions, for the most part, were just straight. You had to go do that. No deviating from the path. You know, you had to get to here. You know, because it was timed. You had to run straight there. You took any other way and you wouldn't make it in time, or you had to follow someone that exact way, kind of thing. It wasn't very open, you know. But something that was really open in Brotherhood were those Borgia Towers. Those were great. Those were insanely open in how you attacked them and took them on, and that just didn't transfer over to the campaign. You know, those Borgia Towers, those are the things on the mini-map that were marked with the red circles or just shapes. And when you enter that red area, you were instantly like full alert kind of thing. All the guards were full alert because obviously you're in this super crazy Borgia place. And it's like, you know, you get seen, they know it's you. But you had so many ways of taking this on. You know, you could do it stealthily, you could do kind of action style, run along the rooftops, you could just go head on and try and kill everyone. And just the mission was just a very general statement kind of thing. Kill the leader of that place and burn the Borgia Tower. Like, yeah, burn the Borgia Tower. You had to climb up that tower over and over again for everyone you did. And it was like the same tower, just kind of repetitive because you kind of, like, if it's like the square, you know, you kind of go up, go to the one side, go up a little bit, go to the next side, go up a little bit, next side, up a little bit more. And that got tedious. It was like a chore after a while, but for the most part, I love those towers. The only reason why I played through the campaign was to keep playing those towers because more got unlocked as you got through the story. I thought that was amazing. Another thing, not Brotherhood, but Assassin's Creed 3 naval battles. Okay? From what I've said about the Da Vinci missions, you're probably going to be thinking, oh, he's going to hate on the naval battles too. No. You know, I think the naval battles are going to be pretty good. You know, they weren't a mechanic ripped from another game that wasn't meant for what it's going to be used for. It was designed straight for just doing the naval battles. And it doesn't seem all that linear and scripted from what I've seen online. You know, there's big oceans, big open oceans. Well, no, I mean, not big open oceans, but big areas. You can kind of go around and don't just stick to one little corridor. You know, corridor shooting with naval battles. You know, probably like weaving your way through Venice or whatever, right? But the point is that it's more open, more diverse. You know, different strategies will come up, I'm sure. And, you know, I thought it might be kind of cool to have like tidal charts and current charts kind of thing to kind of show you where the current's flowing and if the tide's in or out, what time the tides will be in or out at. That might change how you play. You don't want to run ashore if the tide's out too far. Maybe you can run them ashore when it gets out or something. Or if it's in far enough, you can take a different path. I think that might be kind of cool to do. It might be too complicated, though, for what they're planning to use this for. It doesn't seem to be like this huge, massive section of Assassin's Creed. It just seems like a small little diversion, keeping the gameplay elements relatively the same, and just giving something else to do, something new to kind of work at. You know, so the title charts and everything might be a bit too complicated. You know, maybe making a full new game out of it. Someone might do that. I think that'd be pretty cool gameplay. And next game I'm going to talk about, Mortal Kombat 9. It's the latest one that came out, just called straight Mortal Kombat. And I personally have never really got into fighting games. I played some of the earlier Mortal Kombats when I was younger. You know, I was a young little kid back then, so all I did was button mash, right? I didn't understand combos, didn't understand all that stuff. But now that I'm older, I saw Mortal Kombat 9 come out, I'm like, I want to get back into this. I'm going to learn Mortal Kombat. This is the first fighting game I'm really going to learn and get good at, right? So, first thing I did, go to the tutorial. You know, I thought, hey, I'm going to get a good foundation for starting off this new Mortal Kombat thing, right? And, much to my surprise, the tutorial was filled with text boxes. Lots, all text boxes. I do not like that in games. You know, it's a great medium for interactivity and, storytelling and stuff, and they fill the tutorial with text boxes. Yes, it's easier, it's less work, I know, but it's less effective. Personally, I would like to be told, and to be doing that as I'm being told. Training on Mortal Kombat for that. Yes, they had text box, then do it. Text box, then do it. Yes, you got to do it, but it's still just a lot of reading, a lot of dull reading, and I did not enjoy that. I did not learn that way. I know a lot of people who don't. It was a very boring tutorial, right? And the tutorial itself didn't even cover everything about the game. It should cover all the main foundation things you need to know. It didn't, though. Like for blocking, as an example, it covered, high blocks who block high attacks, low blocks who block low attacks. It said nothing about middle attacks, right? Like if you're in a high block, you can block high and middle, and if you get hit low, you'll get busted out of it. If you're in low block, you can block low, and high won't even hit you, but a middle attack will bust you out of it. And they didn't cover that. So when I was first playing it with my friends, we're like, hey, let's just go right into it. Like, okay, sure, right? So we're playing, and we're in low block, and we keep getting knocked out of it by like one attack by Jade, and we can't figure out why. It seems unfair to us. We're like, how do you have an attack that can bust through our block, and we don't have an attack that can bust through yours? Like, we didn't know that there was even a middle attack. And it was kind of ridiculous how that was never explained to us in the tutorial. That's where it should be explained to us. I had to learn this stuff through watching like YouTube and pro streaming of this game. Right? That's where I learned all the fundamentals pretty much. Like instead of just button mashing, I learned how to pull off huge combos instead of just spamming one move. And something I realized about fighting games I never knew before was that it's not about just like using a variety of different moves to get your combos up, right? Because that's what it seems like when you're new. It's like, if you're new and you're just spamming one move over and over again, it's like, he's just spamming. What a noob. This sucks kind of thing. But the pros spam. Well, they don't spam, but they use one or two combos over and over again because each character has one or two combos that does like 30% damage, 40% damage. And those are the best ones. Why would you use the ones that only do 20? Right? So the real strategy and core of the game comes into how you get to those combos, right? That was never explained in anywhere in Mortal Kombat game. I had to watch the pros to figure that out. And, some strategies were pretty cool. Like one strategy I saw was for Sub-Zero. He would ice clone and block his opponent in the corner. If the opponent doesn't have a teleport or anything, they're blocked in there by the ice clone. He'd go with pop shots, he'd go off his combos in there. And that was great strategy. And I saw that often with other characters using strategies that went well with their characters. I was like, that's brilliant. They're using the same combos over and over again, but it's how they get to that combo. And that was never described in the tutorials. And I thought it should be. So hopefully, NetherRealm's next game, Injustice Gods Among Us, with all the DC characters, that will be more oriented. Well, maybe not more oriented, but just the tutorial will be more oriented to new players. And people will be able to see how to play and how not to just button mash like crazy. So that's where you can find me. If you have any questions, comments, anything, featured games you want me to cover, you can email me at designwellpodcast@gmail.com, which isn't actually on this sheet. The websites, designwellpodcast.wordpress or .libsyn.com. Get the podcast version there. It's without all the pretty visuals that you see now. On iTunes, grab the podcast there. YouTube. If you're watching this, you're probably watching it on YouTube. So anywhere there, comment, ask me any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.